cleaning up the place. Guess who walks through the door? Out of the blue, he comes in here acting like a big shot.
Hey, how are you doing, Ajay? Thanks so much for speaking to me. I really appreciate it.
No, pleasure's mine, man. I'm doing great. I'm over in Salt Lake Park City. I'm very excited that the Oak Room is getting out there and people are watching it. So
I mean,
it's a win, you know?
Yeah, it must be a strange experience though. It kind of comes out. I mean, it's great that it's coming out everywhere, but to have something come out in dribs and drabs like over the course of a year and a half must be kind of crazy for you now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of how it always works. It's like you get a release somewhere, then another place picks it up. But especially for this one, we're very lucky that this film keeps growing even after we filmed.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that just continue to evolve, and people are watching it and wanting to watch it and wanting to see it and get it out there. And that's a win.
Yeah,
that's definitely a win.
And even more so, I mean, the fact that this is it's almost like a play. It's almost like a theatrical play, no? And so the fact that you can get something that's almost like a play all around the world must be an even bigger win for you, no?
Yeah, and what's interesting, you say that this is like a play because this was originally a play.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie was originally built as a play and did shows in theater, and you know that was one of the reasons why I was drawn to it, is that uniqueness of this story and kind of how it was written to what came to fruition, and it's unique in every sense of the word, from what the content is, how we shot it, and how it's getting out there. It's just has a life of its own.
One way or another, you're gonna pay up tonight.
I've got something better than cash. I've got a story.
You mentioned there that it was in theaters previously as a play. One of the players in there was Ari Miller, who he was instrumental in the casting. And I think he specifically said that you would be perfect for your role. Can you speak a little bit how you got involved and how Ari thought you'd be the perfect?
Yeah, I didn't talk to Ari till later down the road when we were actually on set, but Cody and the Black Fawn team reached out to me and they're like, we really want you and like you for this role. We think you can contribute a lot to it. And I read it and I was like, I really enjoy this role as well, and I don't know how much I can contribute, but I'll try. And it was unique because it is written like a play. It speaks like a play, but it's cinema. It's filming, right? So there's an air to that that's very different in how we shoot to what we say when it comes to theater and big and small, and how we interact with the audience and not. And I think we have that. We're able to still savor that in this movie with that type of audience lure and woes and ups and downs and just telling a dramatic story, you know?
I mean, something that was really pivotal as well is the fact that you've got to kind of goose the truth. No, you said that it's a comment in the film. You've really, I mean, that's what you specifically have to do as the actors. You've got to goose the truth and really kind of focus your storytelling.
I mean,
telling a story.
That's how all actors should be, but
yeah. But here specifically, you've really got to nail the way that you tell this story. No, it's not just to kind of have the other character believe it, but to have everyone believe it and kind of live it with you.
100%. And you know what was nice about this set, and Cody as the director and the Black Fawn team too, is that they were willing to let the story expand in the moments. There was no like, all right, we're done here, cut that. No, it's like, okay, drag that moment, pull that out of each other, of this thickness of air or this thinness of air, if it makes sense. That they give us that ability to just go and take that time, like in theater, to perform. And then they just took the best cuts of that and did movie magic with it. And that was special.
I just walked 2 miles through a blizzard.
I can tell you about the cold. You know, bartenders love to talk.
Wrong. Bartenders listen. It's the alcoholics that never shut the fuck up.
The Black Fawn films, I mean, I've known them for a long time, all their films. They're really homegrown. They like to kind of create their own sets. I mean, the two bars that we see, they're actually the same bar, kind of refurbished, no? Can you tell me?
It was all one location.
How they created the set and how they, I mean, I think they let you kind of play around with the set and use your own space so that you weren't confined just to that set. No, you could kind of move
So
around. It
yeah,
wasn't so theatrical. No.
no, it was definitely I mean, we were confined to a very finite set. Now, we did have two locations. We have one location on set directly in the production offices and sound stages, and then we had uh a set where scene. You remember when I was in the basement and I'm looking
Yeah, when
through
you go
stuff
down
and
there, yeah.
I'm going down. So that was our only time that we left the set. Was that basement shot. But really what was cool is when they created the space, they created it to shoot 360. So everything in the bar was a real wall and fixed furniture to a degree that we could move the tables in here and there to get camera equipment and stuff. But for the most part, it was a very finite set. And to me, I like that because that makes you more finite. That this is my wall, this is my space, and these are my items, right?
Yeah, my limits.
I can do all this and more within this, and it's okay. And that's something that I really enjoyed being able to do.
Uh-huh. And then and talks in terms of other limitations. I mean, obviously, I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but you don't spend any time with your father in the film, but he plays a pivotal role in the film. There's a really extensive kind of backstory there that you bring as soon as you come into the bar. You can see that you've been there since you were a kid. How did you kind of flush that? How did you kind of create that backstory? I mean, I imagine a lot of it was in the script, but how did you kind of create that kind of chemistry between you and the barman and kind of this idea?
Yeah, Peter. Yeah. I mean, Peter Outerbridge, he is a great actor, and we hit it off from the get-go. And so when it came to backstories, there was a lot of story that wasn't there, that was in the play,
right?
But also in our heads of who these characters are and what they're trying to do. And I think the clear goal for both of us, I can't speak for Peter, but the clear goal I feel that we both had was we both need something from each other. It's money, right? For me, it's something of my father's, right? So there's this need of, I need something from you and you need something from me. So what can we do and how can we leverage this to get a win-win? And so with that kind of secret in our heads, that's kind of what we played to, is that we're here for reasons and we need to get these things accomplished no matter what. And that was kind of and that was really my goal and going into it as the character was, all right, I need X. And I may not know what X is yet, but I need it and I want it. So I'm going to go get it. And I have to tell a story to get it. So
sorry.
Yeah. No, keep going.
Yeah, no, so yeah, I mean, I wanted to speak a little bit about how you worked with the director Cody, because obviously he's kind of cut his teeth horror and more horror. And this is very much a kind of, he was a bit wary about taking the project on at first, not because of the script, but just because it was out of his comfort zone. How was he as a director directing something that it was out of his comfort zone?
Well, you couldn't tell because he seemed very comfortable. He was great.
Did you feel his horror roots coming through while he was there, or exactly the opposite?
I didn't feel horror roots. I mean, this story has a sense of suspense, right? And this kind of like not horror, but the air of unknowing.
Yeah.
And that was something that was very unique to this story, is that it needed that. It needed that kind of suspense, that air of, I don't know happening to these people. Is this real or is this not real? Is this a true story or is he lying? So there's this air of an ominous vibe that works so well. And yes, Cody has a background in horror, but at the same time, he has such a great view for suspense and drama, and just being able to let a scene evolve. So to me as a director, that's a very important aspect to have, is to be able to just let your project grow and then just pepper it with the subtle tones that you want, and then let it grow a little more and see where it goes, and then reel it in or turn it up. And he did a great job at that.
I'm sensing a story coming on here, Gordy.
Shit, I haven't even talked to him for 2 years. I used to see it. He used to always be hanging with the wrong guys. And now I'm really worried that he's got himself involved in some really ugly shit.
I want to carry on with the horror theme. I'm really interested. I don't know when this is going to come out, but I was reading on IMDb that you have got another project that looks very kind of American Psycho type vibes there. Is it Zach? Is it called? It looks fantastic.
It's called oh, thank you, man. It's called Isaac. We're actually still in production. We're still in production right now. We have like 2 weeks of filming left, 1 week of filming left. We were filming towards the beginning of COVID. So with some things we had to push filming, but it's coming. We're gonna finish at the end of this year, and hopefully it'll be out next year.
That looks pretty dark.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call it a horror. I know they're trying to make it more suspenseful, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen the very short trailer. It looks very kind of American. I mean, American Psycho there with the axe and all that. Yeah. So
that's a unique scene, and that's very fun. Like, it's a fun scene. We have some very unique avant-garde and tributes. You know, it's kind of one of those films that it's really weird. It's far out there. It's trippy, and it has homages to different types of things, like every film does.
Yeah.
But in Isaac, you definitely know.
That's brilliant. Well, actually, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck when it comes out in the UK. And I hope to speak to you maybe about Isaac when it comes out, whenever it can come out.
Yeah, you know how to find me, so anytime. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much for your time,
I
RJ.
hope you enjoyed the Oak Room.
We all go over there. And when you get there, you remember this. You come and see me, and you say hello.